So, in honor of our 1 year anniversary from us going live every day, today we are going to revisit conversations that we need to have as a family, as a community. And these are uncomfortable conversations. These are conversations that, most of us as kids growing up, we were not allowed to have with the elder statespeople in our family. But it is beyond critical that we have these conversations now and hopefully be able to reverse the course of our trajectory as Black people, right? As the Black family. And so today I am also going to share with you a resource that I put together for free for anyone who wants to use this as a framework, as a guide. It doesn't just have to be over the holidays, but I do encourage you, if you are meeting up with your family over the holidays, to have these conversations. If you are not, whenever it is that you meet up, whenever it is that you schedule time with your loved ones, use this framework. You can use it this year, top of next year, but use it and use it promptly so you can start taking action and executing on what we're going to go over. And so, anyway, let me first introduce myself. If you are new here, hey everyone, I am Kim, aka Kim with the Gems. On this channel, we talk all things wellness, travel, and finances. And this conversation is going to encompass a little of everything. And now, while the thumbnail may say 7 questions, I might give you a little bit more because I think these questions are critical. If you are new here and have not subscribed, I invite you to just hit that subscribe button, become a part of the Gem Nation family, and you'll know every time I come on this YouTube platform to drop some gems that I think are critical for us as a people, as a community. And so you can also share this video with someone that you may think needs this information and turn on the notification bell. Hopefully it'll work for you. They don't always work for me. My last tip is if you're watching this on the back end later, speed it up, watch it on at least 1.5 playback speed so you can get through these gems quicker. Today, we are not going to be here a long time. And y'all know I always say that, but I do have another meeting. So I am going to get through this quickly. Well, quicker than normal. Let's just say that. So, I see Shell is in the building. Hey, out of the shell. If you are in here and have not said hi, go ahead and say hi. So I can shout you out. I know this is a interesting time. Hey, Siobhan, good to see you. Hey, Ebad. This is not a normal time for us to go live, but I wanted to get this in today because we are on another blitz. We are on a 1-day blitz. Hi, blessings. What bless God at all times. Love that. Yes, yes, yes. Um, I did want to come on today. And for those of you who are in the high probability trading only course, I misspoke yesterday. We are meeting at 7 p.m. today and 8 p.m. next week. So 7 p.m. is our high probability trading only course. And I have a couple other meetings today. But anyway, today was very important to discuss, and I'm going to do a little reflection as to why. We are going to, pay attention to some videos that came out in December of last year. And hopefully, for those of you who weren't here, it will make sense, right? And hopefully, those of you who were here, took some action. Was about that action, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into the first video, which I'm going to share with you. And it's just a clip of what these people were saying out loud over a year ago, which gave us plenty time to start preparing, right? And bringing our families and loved ones in on these conversations. But let's go ahead and quickly take a look at what they were saying out loud. Okay, so this is Stephen Miller basically sharing exactly what I've been trying to share with everyone. Like when they, we have Black people talking about, when they come get y'all, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to turn the other way. I'm not going to pay attention. Some of the y'alls, maybe y'all, like they are not relegating this just to the Mexican or Latin American community. Hold on one second. Let me just see if I could get straight to it. Of all Now, I want y'all to pay close attention. Pay close attention because I know there's a lot of people that have joined since this went live last year, December, and I think I say the date, but pay attention to the words that are coming out of this man's mouth. And this man is being touted as the puppet master for the current president. So pay attention.
Illegal aliens into this country. There will be no benefits. There will be no entry. There will be every single legal, diplomatic, and financial to January 20th, because the president of the United States is going to use every single legal, diplomatic, and financial tool to halt the entry of all illegal aliens into this country. There will be no benefits. There will be no entry. There will be no asylum. There will be no admission. You may be prosecuted. You will certainly be arrested, and you will absolutely be deported. The entire world, Mexico, Northern Triangle, Central America, South America, Africa, Asia, the Middle East, will get this message. There is no other world.
We're going to listen to those countries one more again, just one more time, and just correlate it to where we are 1 year later with all of the halts in place for visa applications, asylum applications, all the things. Just pay attention to the list of countries.
Mexico, Northern Triangle, Central America, South America, Africa, Asia, the Middle East will get this message. There is no unarrested, and you will absolutely be deported. The entire world, Mexico, Northern Triangle, Central America, South America, Africa, Asia, the Middle East will get this message. There is no unlawful route to enter the United States of America. Every presidential authority, including his apps.
Now, I guess there's no unlawful route for melanated people because he damn sure did not call out any non-melanated countries, right? And so again, just keep listening.
Authority under Article 2 to defend the territorial sovereignty of the United States will be used, from the Department of Defense to the Department of Justice to Homeland Security and every single other lawful authority at his disposal. It will be the end of the evasion. It will be the beginning of the liberation.
All right. All right. Should I even break that down? Like, did he just say Mexico? Did he say Venezuela? Did he say Honduras? No. Well, he said Mexico, but he said Central America. He went down the list, speaking specifically of countries with Black and brown, and he said Asia as well. But he didn't say, like you said, any other. Somebody said Russia. He didn't mention Russia or Australia. He mentioned Middle Eastern. Like they already have a direct mandate against Muslim countries. We went over that when we went over Project 2025 information, and that has come back to pass, right? If you've been watching, or even if you're not watching the news, if you've been scrolling, right, we know what countries are being targeted, everything from the HB1 visas to being stopped from entry while they're en route back to the US, rather they're instructors or students, doctors, nurses. If you are from some of these countries that they have labeled as, targeted countries, it's a problem. So when they speak, listen, this was from December 3rd, I think was the date. I already closed out the link. But this was from December 3rd. Today is the 14th, 11 days later. Nothing's changed. Again, I just wanted to drill that home because this was a year ago that article, or more than a year ago that video came out, right? I want us to have these conversations now with people who may have thought we were BSing or fear-mongering, and show them just at the speed that these people are working and why we have to work at double the speed to protect ourselves, right? Let me stop. This video, I have one more video I'm going to show before we get into the resources and the conversations and the topics that we need to have. And hopefully this will also drill into what is happening. And I call this one, you know, buckle up, America. It's going to be a bumpy ride. And let's pay attention to what this professor was saying. Okay.
The story was horrible. The number of Japanese put into concentration camps, 125,000 people. In case you're wondering, since World War II was a war not just against the Japanese, but against the Germans and the Italians, who were at least as important together as an enemy as the Japanese ever were there Germans and Japanese that were interned, the polite word for concentration camp? Yes, but the total of Germans and Japanese that were suspect aliens was 14,500. The Japanese, 125,000. It's almost 10 to 1 Japanese relative to German.
And when you listen to what he's saying, I'm not going to play the whole video, but when you listen to what he is saying, I want you to closely think about where we are today, right? But then just envision what this could possibly look like. Now, we already talked about the countries a second ago that they have clearly defined as unwanted, right? As unwanted. What was the last phrase he said? I can't think of it. But again, just imagine, just imagine.
Germans and Italians. And of course, Germans and Italians were considered to be white, and the Japanese, not so much. Okay, let's take a look at what was done to them. Well, to cut this short and get to the point, let me tell you what the United States government itself, many years later, all of this happened in 1942 to the end of the war in 1945. Okay,
think about that. Let's count the years: 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 105, 115, 125. That was only 80 years, right? 45, 55, yeah, 80 years. It wasn't that long ago.
That referred to all of this as, quote, a great injustice. The original executive order, number 9066, from President Roosevelt, instructed the military to remove citizens from disputed designated areas. Where were those areas? California, Oregon, Washington, Hawaii, Alaska, and Arizona. And they were stuck in, ready, 10 concentration camps maintained by the United States government in awful conditions, about which there have been many books and videos and articles, too numerous to list here.
Again, these warnings were from over a year ago. I want us to literally have these uncomfortable conversations, and we're about to go over the topics in a second, because I think people are still head stuck in the sand, don't know what to do. Well, the first thing that you can do is start with your family. Now, this gentleman was talking about basically how, you know what, let me play a little bit more of it because I'd rather him say it. He's a professor.
Okay. When the war was over and the camps emptied out, the people that had been imprisoned, no trial, no conviction, no opportunity to defend themselves, had lost, according to the U.S. Commission of the Congress about all of this, lost 75% of their assets. On average, these people came home to a house that wasn't there, to clothing that had long ago disappeared, to whatever property they owned having been destroyed, stolen, or otherwise lost. Again, the statement of the 1980s.
No trial, locked away, all of your assets gone when you finally get home. And out of the hundreds of thousands that they arrested and put in these concentration camps, I think the number was 10 were found guilty of whatever these trumped up charges were. And none of them were Japanese. They were all white. They're playing chess. They play chess. And we're sitting here scared to have conversations to make sure that our assets, our families, our legacies are protected. And listen, there's a way to do it, and we're going to get into those ways right now. So let me stop sharing this, and I want to get into the document that it's a complimentary document. So you just, all you have to do, the link is in the description, but it's a framework, it's a format for you to go and have serious conversations with your family with. Now, before I get into the document, let's just talk about the first thing, right? We're going to talk about questions. And I said there will be 7, but I'm probably going to go over more. I can't limit, right? I can't limit the questions. So it's too vital to go over these things. But the first thing we need to do is check on everyone's mental. Check on everyone's mental and poise it in a way that doesn't offend, doesn't put people on guard, but is empathetic. And just really don't just say, "Hey, how you doing?" You have to get deep with it. How are you feeling with everything going on, the news, the people we know that's been affected, like somebody's lost some type of benefits or has to pay triple in premiums. Have these conversations that start off checking in on them. Because like I said in a video yesterday, the day before, people are suffering in silence. And all they are waiting for, some of them, is someone to really sit down and talk to them. So start there. Then another question that I think everyone should have on their list of questions based on responses, temperature checks, and how people are feeling is the question, have you ever thought about living anywhere outside of the country? If so, why haven't you? If not, will you? What would prevent you? And again, see if there are solutions. If somebody is really interested in having that opportunity, right? Again, sometimes people just need accountability and people to talk to. And that's what I want us to focus on as we gather over this holiday season. But then we want to get into documents, right? You need to find out what documents everyone has and where they are. Because the worst thing is, and let me just speak from experience, is family members having important documents like wills, like insurance policies, like um, bank statements or bank account information, and nobody knows where it is, especially if things are, well, wills you can't really store on the internet, but especially if things are stored in a device that needs access via a password. So, starting off, like, we need to find out where these important documents are and who has access. We also need to find out who will make healthcare decisions if you become incapacitated, right? So, that health proxy, where is that? But have your family verbalize this. And I'm not just talking about grandma, great grandma, great auntie and them. I'm talking about every single adult that you gather with. If they're not married, who is that person that is going to be responsible if they can't be responsible for themselves? They're incapacitated. They can't speak for themselves. Someone has to speak for them. And if you don't have someone designated, oh, trust me, I've seen it. I've seen the horrific things that happen. And then when you find out that person, who they've labeled as the person they entrust to speak on their behalf if they can't, what are their requests? What do they want? Is it a DNR, do not resuscitate? Or is it a full code, right? They want everything done for life-saving measures. Um, what type of interventions, right? There's certain religions and certain people that have beliefs for certain things that they simply don't want. But if it's not fully verbalized or written out in a way that someone can just communicate it by reading it, then I don't know if their, request will be fulfilled. Probably not. And so, um, getting back to the mental, I'm sorry, I forgot to say, if someone is saying that they are struggling, what type of support can you as a family provide to them? Is it someone picking up the phone and calling a therapist for them? Is it someone, um, you know, going with them initially to their first meeting because you know that accountability will help them and they won't feel so all alone? But what can you do to help them in those situations? And you don't, again, have to write any of these things down. All of this will be included in the conversation framework that is going to be, well, it's available now for free. The link is in the description. And you can use it immediately. You can start prepping, right? Um, and I'll tell you what's going to be included in that, what is included in that. But again, you also want to know what the person's debt situation is. We have to start talking money, right? We're talking mental, right? But we also have to talk, and we're talking healthcare, but we also have to talk finances. And I'm sorry, let's get back to the healthcare for a second. Do you know what ailments, what medications, what doctors, specialists that your loved ones have in their phone book, their personal phone book or their notes? Do you know these people? Because if something happens and they need someone to speak for them and they can't, they're in a facility, you need to know this information. Someone needs to know this information. Someone needs to be designated. I call it like the buddy system, right? You need a buddy. You need someone who is going to be able to provide this information. So if you do have some type of ailment, and you end up in a far off place, let's say you're on vacation and you end up in a hospital and you don't know any of the professionals there, how easy would it be for the professionals at that hospital to contact the specialist that knows who you are, knows what your ailments are, and be able to start from where you are versus making guesses and assumptions, right? So again, what medicines, what specialists, what ailments, what are your healthcare needs that need to be addressed with the family? What is your healthcare insurance? Listen, if someone can't speak and you don't know um, their social security number, their name, they only have, I don't know, a piece of ID that may not get the information that these facilities need. Make sure that you have a list of healthcare insurance for the family members in your home, or not even in your home, the ones that you care about, right? Your loved ones. Have a list of the healthcare insurance that they have. So if something goes wrong, time is of the essence. And we see how these facilities now are shutting down or not taking care of citizens that can't produce their insurance. Make sure that that is not part of your family's problem. Also, and we'll get back to the money situation in a second. Um, well, you know what? Let's start there. What is your debt? What is your income? Do you have someone that you can trust with that information? Just in case something happens. And something happening can mean someone gets picked up erroneously because they look like they're from a different country and they may need a lawyer. They may need assistance. But if nobody knows how you're getting income, where your money is, and they have to do a GoFundMe, like I said, time is of the essence. You have to act quickly. And you can't act quickly if you don't know what the heck is going on. And so, again, these are resources and questions that we need to have. And All of this is going to be, or is available for free right now in the description below. But let's go ahead and get to a couple more questions. I said there were only going to be 7. Let me just get through the rest of them. Do you have a business, right? Do you have a LLC, S Corp, any of the legal business entities? Do you own that? And if you do you have a succession plan for it? If you don't, make one, get one. And these are the questions you need to ask your family members, right? Again, the important documents, the wills, the trust, whatever the documents are, do you have access to them? And I also re-put in the description secure ways to secure these paper documents, right? So there's a link that you can go to the Black Travel and Culture Amazon store, and I believe it's labeled, let me see what the labeling is, document safety. And there's about 18 resources in there that you can choose from, and they make great Christmas gifts. They are, if you celebrate Christmas and or Kwanzaa, right? Great gifts to give people to that they probably won't buy themselves, right? But they're necessary. They're necessary. You want fire retardant and waterproof document holders. So if something happens, you're stacking the odds in your favor that your documents will be safe. Also, let's go ahead and get through the rest of the questions. So the succession plan, and then who are the beneficiaries, right? These are conversations that sometimes are difficult to have, but you know how you can make it easier? This is also, let me add this in the chat. This is a very affordable, a very cheap, I should say, gift to give, but it is so important. It's called the My Family Estate Legal Document Kit, and it includes your last will and testament, your health proxy, legal power of attorney, all in one place. And so let me add that into the chat, and let me show you. I have mine somewhere. Oh, here it is. I try to keep my stuff, so God forbid, anything happen. It's somewhere. Oh no, this is the Peace of Mind Planner. This is another good document. I mean, a folder. And it contains all the important information about your belongings, your business affairs, and wishes. I'm actually going to put this, it might actually already be, let me see. It may actually already be a link in there. But if not, when you click on the link, I'll make sure it's added. But it's called, let me show you this. Okay, I'm going to share this. And then, I have to remove this one, stop, and then share this one. So I did this video in March of 2025, and it was called Don't Be Scared, Get Prepared. And I shared these documents. I shared the documents that could help us stay ready so we don't have to get ready. And so let me go ahead and I'm doing the lawn, of course. And it's supposed to be done earlier, but it is what it is. Hopefully you don't hear all this noise in the background. Okay. I am going to add this link into the chat. Again, absolutely great resources and great gifts to give. Let me see what the price is for that. I'm going to tell you right now, because again, we don't need to be buying Nikes and things that are not going to appreciate. $12.99. Can y'all see this? It's $12.99. So get you a copy. Get you a copy now. It's called the My Family Estate Legal Document Kit. It includes the last will and testament, health proxy, and legal power of attorney. Out of almost 1,200 reviews, it has a 4.5 rating, which is near perfect when you have that many reviews. And you can get it, well, where I am in New York, if I ordered it today as a Prime member, get 15, I mean, you get tomorrow. I would be able to get tomorrow if I ordered within the next 3 hours. So a great, people that you may not even know, like you may think these people have it all together, but even if you gift it to someone and they already have something similar, they can gift it, re-gift it. And it's the gift that keeps giving. So again, let's go ahead and, did I want to play any of this? Let me see. Was there anything I wanted to play here? I did show a picture of it. I looked yesterday. I think it was like $11. And I'm going to walk you through what's inside. And so let me just see. Okay, yeah. So I'm not gonna waste your time rewatching this one. I will put this link in the chat for anyone who wants to see more about the document. But again, it's a resource that I gift, I still give, I still use. Mine is already completed. The only thing I have to do is update some of my passwords because I changed them in December or January. But yeah, two great resources that I think everyone should use. And I think it could be a great talking point when you get together with the family. You come in with a couple of those, you will get more engagement. People may be more willing. Now, you have some older statements that just don't like talking about these things. But if you personalize it and just talk about situations that you've heard of where people couldn't even bury people because they didn't know where the life insurance policy was, or people couldn't, and that could be a little morbid, right? But people couldn't even access people's money when they were, caught up in something, or their children were caught up in something because they didn't know where the money was, right? And you want to make sure every one of the accounts have some type of beneficiary. You want to make sure there's a transfer of death with your bank accounts, or at minimum, a beneficiary. If you cannot put an additional person on your account, so they don't have to go through any other legalities, make sure you have those legalities set up. So let's go over the document that you can get for free. It's a Google Doc and will be updated if necessary, as necessary. But let me just share this screen. And again, the link to get it is in the description, and it's once again free, complimentary. You don't have to pay nada, not un dinero or un peso. So yeah, so this is the actual document. It's called the Family Get Together and Holiday Conversation Guide. And anyone can download it and get a copy of it. You will be giving your email address, which the only exchange is that you will get further emails from me, as you're now authorizing to be part of the newsletter, the Gym Nation email community. But this is a comprehensive framework that is designed to help Black families have the critical conversations needed to ensure everyone is protected, informed, and prepared. The guide addresses four core areas: assets and capital protection, healthcare decisions, income generation opportunities, and complete documentation systems. And if this is something that you need to do yourself, but you've been procrastinating, yes, I'm going to say it. Join the SLAA, SLA, well, it's SLAA intensive. It's the Strategic Life Architect Accountability Intensive this January. By the end of January, this will be a thing of the past. You can move on to your next thing you need to check off your list. But if you need to take care of any of these items yourself, join the Slate community so we can help you get it done in a short amount of time. So again, these are the core framework is that these conversations should follow these principles. Start with clear intentions and explain why you're having these discussions. Frame them as acts of love and protection, not morbid planning, y'all. Creating psychological safety by acknowledging discomfort is normal. Each conversation with specific action items assigned to specific people with clear deadlines. Make these conversations ongoing and not one-time events. So even though I'm letting you know about this during the holidays, because that's when most people gather and get together and have more time off from work, this should not be a one and done situation. This should be a continuous conversation with friends, with family, with anyone in your network and your circle. So again, we're going to go over the essential questions. We'll start with asset capital protection. Now, I did not include the wishes about did you ever want to move abroad or have you ever thought about that? We're going to have a whole separate conversation about that, but that should be part of it. Just having the conversation and somebody be like, oh, no, I ain't going nowhere. Listen, you're not there to brainwash people. You're just there to get an understanding and maybe open their eyes to possibility. And if they don't want to open their eyes, okay, move on to the next thing. So you're talking about asset and capital protections, and wherever you see these blue highlights, there's a link there for additional resources, but healthcare and medical decisions, and it gives you questions that you can ask, right? What is our family's current net worth and asset inventory? Who manages finances and is there as a trained backup? Are all property deeds, titles, and assets documentations organized? If not, then you know what to do. Act accordingly, right? What insurance do we have? Is the coverage adequate? Do we need to increase it? Do we need to help you with the premiums to increase it? Right? Does our family own a business? Is there a succession plan? Are we protected from creditors and legal liability? Do we have an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses? I don't say 6 months minimum of expenses. What percentage of wealth is in liquid versus illiquid assets? Like what percent, or you can just talk share numbers, can you just access quickly versus having to sell something, wait to put on the market, all those things, right? The same format for healthcare and medical decisions, income generation and career opportunities. How secure are your current jobs? So when I'm saying ask people, how are they doing? This is part of that. If their jobs or income streams are not secure, how do we find security, right? What are the industry's trends? Are they looking to scale back? We know what we're hearing about artificial intelligence and the impact it's going to have on certain careers. Is that person's career going to be affected? And if so, listen, what is our next step? How are we going to survive this? Ask, is anyone interested in creating additional income streams? Because guess what? One thing I know for certain, two things I know for sure, people are constantly looking for um, solutions to whatever problems it is that they have. And so if you as a collective of family and friends could come together and offer a solution, tap into that. What untapped skills or talent exists in the family? If someone owns a business, who would take it over? Is anyone on track to retire? What does that look like? What if they get forced out before retirement? I'm not going to go through all of these questions. I just want you to see the flow and the format. They're questions that you don't even have to look up. They're here for you. Highlight the ones that are relevant to you and get to asking, get to having these uncomfortable conversations with our family because they want us to not know what's going on. And as we learned in the high probability trading only, the meeting we had last week, the welcome orientation, the risk is in not knowing. When you know what's going on, there's less risk. When you don't know what's going on, you are exposed to all type of risk, right? Um, Income generation and career opportunities, critical documentation and organization. Does everyone have a will, trust, or estate plan? Who has named a healthcare power of attorney? Where are birth certificates, passport, and vital records stored? This will also let you know who doesn't have a passport. And then y'all can act accordingly on that. And then you could get more detailed in the conversations by creating a comprehensive list of everything that your family owns. There's a net worth and asset inventory checklist that you can download if you're interested in. Also, there's other questions related to financial management and succession, insurance and risk protection, business succession planning, action items to assign, right? You need to delegate if you can. Now, some people may be saying, well, I don't have a big family. It's just me and my child or me or whatever. Have this conversation with whoever you deem important in your life to know this information about you, and you also know this information about them, right? The healthcare decision and desires, we get deeper into those questions. Again, you can download this now. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put the link in the chat for anyone who is interested. And I see some comments coming I'm gonna get to in a second. I just want to put this link. So can y'all see that? No, okay. I'm gonna put this link. Share, copy. Here we go. So this is the free resource that I am going over now. That I think you can also give this out to friends and family, right? Listen, in addition to the book, right? Addition to that estate planning guide and the peace of mind planner, a copy of this, child. I might design it a little better. We'll see. But I just wanted to get this out because I know the holidays are coming up. And this is a guide that I reference as well. So again, let's go ahead and get through the rest of the document, and then we'll be done, y'all. So the mental health and psychological wellness, there's some links to the NIH that will give you more insight as to what those can look like, right? How are the families being affected by certain mental illnesses that may already exist? How are children being supported? And what happens if something happens to the parent, right? What information do children have about the situation? Listen, we did the Maximize Assets Grow Abundance course at the top of the year, and our estate planning expert, she shared a personal story about how her mother passed unexpectedly. She has a much younger sibling with advanced special needs, and there was no succession, like there was no plan as to what was going to happen. And she shares her story and what that looked like and why she decided to enter this field. I think there's a link for the Maximize Assets Grow Abundance replays, and her information is still available if you're looking for somebody to help walk you through this, who is affordable. Like, she's not an attorney, but she is an advocate and an expert in this area. She's still available. So if the link isn't there now, I will make sure. Actually, let me do that now while I'm on this platform. But again, these are so many resources that we have put together. I have led the charge because I just know how important these conversations are going to be. The live I did last night talked about 2024 being the warning, right? 2025 was when they were about that action, right? And 2026 is going to be the turning point. And those that will have better odds of surviving the turning point are the ones that take action now, right? That take action today. And I know this is going to age well. I know this video is going to age well, just like the other videos have. But let me go ahead and share. This is the maximize. We're just going to do, it's the MAGA for Black people, y'all. Maximize assets, grow abundance. Replays are available. The information is still very timely, high level information for times like this. You can go ahead and watch that and get access to experts that are still available for consultations, for helping you navigate through all of these areas. So healthcare access and insurance, income generating opportunities, right? Discuss with each working family member, how secure is your current employment? What are industry trends and risks? What is the likelihood of job loss or industry disruption? Are there opportunities for advancement or salary increase? What career goals exist for the next 5 to 10 years? Right? Side hustle. And I hate the word hustle, right? Hustle to me, and this is how I think of it as a New Yorker, a hustler is somebody who's standing on the corner doing the low level work, getting paid peanuts. Listen, why don't y'all become, should I say it? Side kingpins and side queen pins, right? Let's leave the hustlers alone. We're creating side ventures and diversifying our income. Again, align with everything that I talk about on this channel. And why the courses that we designed are created. And so you're going to find out what are the untapped opportunities to generate additional income and identify family skills and talents. And let me just tell you how easy it is. So Andrea and I hosted in July, was it? A Decode Your Talent, Design Your 5+ figure incomes, right? And so what I know for sure is that sometimes we are thinking too top level, right? You can create a whole platform on what I'm going over right now, how you are having conversations with your family, these uncomfortable conversations. You could do a quick, like 30-second video skit imitating family members and the responses you got, but you could create a membership community for people to join that will help, them get through the things that you are going through. We don't have to create the next scientific phenomenon, right? Go where your passion lies. Go with what you are experiencing now. Tell real, authentic stories. Make some money while doing it. Period. Exclamation point. So again, teaching, tutoring. The one thing we didn't get through yet, and where is that? I want to quickly, retirement planning, financial education, career development, but I want to really, because this document is here, you could go through everything. It's quite intensive. There are some links that, like the IRS, when it comes to getting your tax returns, if you need it, W-2, 1099 forms, and all those things. The assets and digital assets and passwords. Who has your email accounts and password? Who has your social media accounts? Who is listed on Facebook as someone who can have access to your account if something happens to you? Your cloud storage, your online banking, if you have cryptocurrency wallets, if you have digital payment accounts, websites, subscriptions, photos, and digital files, all those things. Someone needs access to that. Or it needs to be in your peace of mind planner that someone can find. If someone walks into this office right now, sitting here, go through 5, there's books. Let me show you what books. I keep this book here, actually, and those of you who are in Maximize Assets. So it's called The Hiltons, The True Story of an American Dynasty. Need to know what these mofos are out here doing, right? Right? If you don't know your history, you will not know your future. And so, again, make it sure it's someplace where it's easily accessible. But then you also want to do assignments for people, right? And then this is what I wanted to get to. And then there's more stuff, but I'm not going to get through it because what time is it? Yep, I got to get ready to go. Family history and legacy preservation, right? Who's gathering your genealogy? Who's gathering your family stories and documenting them? That should be high on the list, right? Because they're trying to wipe that away. And those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it, right? And so the other thing I wanted to say is that did you know that family reunions in the Black community are down by 47% since the panorama? Intentional. We need to change that too, but that's another story for another day. So getting strategy or strategic on how to preserve family stories is quite important. Memorial and funeral preferences, that is also in the planning guide that I talked about. And I'll make sure I add that link. And how to have these conversations. This is the last part of this document, which is, yeah. Oh, final family, then you have the checklist as well. So this is a like 16-page document, all for free. Go ahead, get you a copy. Don't just download it and do nothing with it. Download it, be about that action. Don't be afraid to have these uncomfortable conversations. I did say I was only going to go over 7 questions, but my spirit said, nah. Let's take some time. Let's do it right. Let's go through all the things. And this way, you don't have to tackle everything at once. What's the saying? What's the best way to eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. You take one bite out of a time in order to consume, right? To not get overwhelmed and to not give up. Just do little pieces, but start with what's most important to you. The great transfer of wealth is not just because these corporate entities are, doing all these tax protections. The great transfer of wealth will happen because we don't have our ducks in a row. We don't have our documents in order, and they will be able to come and snatch things because we didn't know they existed. You think if you don't know an insurance policy existed, that the insurance company is going to come track you down to give you some money? No, they're banking on the fact that we're not having these conversations. Have these conversations. Please have these conversations, or just, get ready for the turning point. Succumb to the turning point is what I'll say. And so I don't see any questions. Oh, wait a minute. Veronica says she actually paid a lawyer $3,000 to do it for your parents. This would have been nice. But sometimes congratulations. Let me just say congratulations for having it done. And sometimes it's okay to pay. So you don't have to stress, right? You don't have to stress. And a lawyer, hiring a lawyer, will never go against that. And it could have cost more. That's what I look at. You could have cost more. So the fact that you took the initiative and had it done, then, God bless you. But for those of us that haven't even had the conversation, the first initial conversation, go ahead and download that free resource and start having the conversations. I don't care how, listen, if you start having the conversation and you realize that a fight is about to break out over the turkey and the ham and all the things, back away from the conversation and then find another approach, right? But always lead with the fact, and I just read what some verbiage that you should say. Know that you're doing this and it could be uncomfortable, but you're doing it out of love so that everyone is protected, informed, and prepared, right, for what's to come. And then you could give, there's always examples that you can use of people who lost everything because they didn't have their stuff together, or ended up in a hospital with no health proxy and the doctors decided what was going to happen to them, right? So again, you can always give examples to support your thesis and your point, but start having the conversations. And then you'll find out who is more amiable to have these conversations with, and you lean into them more than the uncle that think he should get everything, even though he ain't do nothing for nobody, right? So you'll figure it out, right? And so again, I thank you one, I thank you all. We're not finished with this. We are not finished with this blitz. We're coming back tomorrow. Tomorrow we will meet at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7 p.m. Yeah, tomorrow we will meet at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, I let the spirit lead me on the topics because I have like 10 topics I want to cover. This I wanted to get out before people started, doing their travels and buying, more gifts and all the things. Go ahead, buy sensible gifts, make sure our people are protected and that we will survive what's to come. So is that Talito says, or Talto says, such a good point about that insurance. An insurance company is not necessarily going to chase you down to give you the money, even though they might be legally bound to. They don't know. How will they know? But that's the thing. If somebody passes away, who notifies the insurance company? Especially when people need the money the most. So if you don't know that insurance exists, there is not a database that insurance companies go into on a daily basis to figure out which one of their clients passed away and may need this money. So that's the point. Now, maybe 10 years down the road, you may figure something out, but 10 years, y'all may have lost the house. It may be so many other ramifications by not knowing. There was something else I was going to say, just like the unclaimed funds. A lot of these people know that you still live at the same address, that there's some money that your parents or grandparents are owed, but they're not chasing you down to give that to you. You have to be about that action, as we say here. And so, that's the takeaway. Like, we have to be our own best advocates. And sometimes it's not easy. I get it. We come from a complicated background. We have been hoodwinked and bamboozled in a number of ways. But these are the conversations that they are having with their young ones. We need to have these conversations, not only with the young, these are the family conversations that they're having. And the fact that we're not even having family reunions the way that we used to, cut in half over the past 5 years, speaks volumes on exactly their diabolical. Again, I don't want to go down that path. But yeah, so anyway, go ahead, get your free resource. Go ahead, have these conversations. Get the books that I just talked about. Again, I wish I had mine. I don't have it. It's probably because I was traveling with it. So yeah, it's probably in my computer bag. But yeah, make sure you are armored and ready for 2026. This is a year later. Imagine where we would have been if, some of us found this channel or other channels, which I'm very disappointed. Again, these channels, our spokespeople in this media space are not doing us any justice. And I can't sit by and let that happen. So without saying anything. So I will see everyone tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, have a beautiful rest of the day. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, become part of the Gym Nation, and download your free resource. Listen, I be trying, y'all. I be trying to help us, but y'all got to help yourselves too. Download it and take action. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. I think I said hi to everyone who said hi, and I will see everyone tomorrow at 8. Have a good one, y'all.